Drinking water first thing. It is the simplest habit ever. You probably know someone who always looks full of energy. Not shaky like they had too much coffee, but naturally awake. Their skin looks healthy. They do not complain about headaches. They can function like a normal person before noon. Their secret is very basic. The moment they open their eyes, they drink water. Not coffee and not scrolling on their phone. Just water. The most ordinary thing possible. Here's why it works. Your body goes almost 8 hours with no hydration while you sleep. Your brain actually shrinks a little because of dehydration. You begin the day already behind, and then wonder why you feel terrible until 2 p.m. Smart people hydrate first. Everyone else hits the snooze button 17 times and wonders why everything feels difficult. How boring is this? Extremely boring. Does it work? Unfortunately, yes. Remember, your body is 60% water, not 60% iced latte. Treat it that way. Making your bed. This sounds exactly like something your mother used to say. Many people think making the bed is a waste of time. I am just going to mess it up again. Honestly, that is the worst logic ever used for anything. Here is what making your bed really does. Before 7 a.m., you complete a small task. Your brain gets a little spark of accomplishment. You prove to yourself that you can start something and finish it. Then after a rough day, you come home to a room that does not look chaotic. One small win waiting for you. Navy SEALs do this daily. Not because they care about perfect corners, but because small discipline grows into bigger discipline. If you cannot handle a simple task like making your bed, how will you manage anything more challenging? How boring is this? Painfully boring. Does it improve your life? Much more than expected. Discipline starts with the corners you actually tuck in. Walking after meals instead of crashing on the couch. We all know someone who eats a big meal and instantly becomes tired. I am in a food coma. Do not disturb me. While they lie down, their metabolism slows and their blood sugar jumps. Then there is the person who takes a simple 10-minute walk after eating. Nothing heavy, just a small walk around the block. They return feeling normal while you are still digesting like a python that swallowed a whole deer. Science fully supports this habit. A short walk after meals helps control blood sugar, supports digestion, and prevents the heavy crash that destroys your energy for hours. But most people would rather suffer than do something so ordinary. How boring is this? Incredibly boring. Does it work? Your pancreas and your productivity both say yes. Going to bed at the same time every single night. Some people treat their sleep timing as optional. On Monday, they sleep by 10 p.m. On Friday, they stay awake until 3 a.m. On Sunday, they oversleep until noon to catch up. Their body has no idea what is happening. Their circadian rhythm becomes more confused than a tourist without Google Maps. Meanwhile, the so-called boring people sleep at the same time every night. Weekdays, weekends, parties, new shows, nothing changes. They treat sleep like it truly matters. The result is simple. They wake up naturally. No harsh alarms, no heavy grogginess. Their body knows the rhythm. When you are hitting snooze and drinking caffeine just to feel alive, they are already 3 hours into their day. How boring is this? Absurdly boring. Will you do it? Probably not. That is exactly why you feel tired constantly. Eating the same breakfast. Decision fatigue is a real thing. You might know someone who eats the exact same breakfast every day. Eggs, oatmeal, anything. No change at all. It may look boring or even depressing, but here is what they avoid. Early morning decision overload. Every choice drains mental energy. What to eat, what to wear, what to start first. When you make around 17 tiny decisions before 9 a.m., you drain your brain without noticing. Successful people automate the routine parts of life. Same breakfast, same morning setup, same basic flow, so they save their brain power for things that actually matter. While you are staring at the fridge at 7 a.m. trying to decide what you feel like eating, they have already eaten and moved on. How boring is this? Devastatingly boring. Does it free up mental space? More than most people will admit. Tracking your spending. Nobody likes this one. There is always someone who knows exactly where their money goes. Not because they are cheap or stressed, but because they track every single expense. Coffee, subscriptions, random shopping, everything is written down. Meanwhile, you wonder why you are broke at the end of every month, even though you did not spend much. The truth is simple. You did. Tracking expenses is dull and uncomfortable. It forces you to face the reality of things you purchased but did not actually need. But this is also the exact habit that helps people escape living paycheck to paycheck and start building real savings. How boring is this? Very boring, and a bit painful. Will it change your financial life? Absolutely, if you are willing to face the truth. Reading before bed instead of scrolling endlessly. Most people end their day staring at their phone, scrolling until their brain feels exhausted. Then they wonder why they cannot sleep or why they wake up stressed. Boring people choose to read real books before bed. Any book, fiction or nonfiction, as long as it is not a bright screen feeding them negativity or comparison. Their mind slows down naturally. They fall asleep faster. They wake up calmer. Meanwhile, you are watching random videos at 1 a.m. and wondering why your mental health feels terrible. How boring is this? Extremely boring. Meal prepping on Sunday, the ultimate boring move. That person who never worries about meals? They are not eating takeout every night. They are not standing in front of the fridge confused. They spent 2 quiet hours on Sunday preparing meals for the entire week. While you were scrolling online, they were dividing portions like they run a tiny restaurant. Rice, vegetables, protein, everything sorted. It sounds dull, but they save money, eat healthier, and never panic about dinner at 8 p.m. How boring is this? Very boring, in a big way. Does it remove stress? More than most people realize. Taking real breaks, not scrolling breaks. Many people think looking at their phone is a break. It is not. It is just switching to another task that continues to stress the brain. Boring people take real breaks. They stretch, breathe, look outside, or simply do nothing for a few minutes. Their mind gets a chance to reset. Meanwhile, your brain jumps from work stress to social media stress without any pause. Real rest feels boring because nothing happens, and that is exactly why it works. How boring is this? Unbelievably boring. Will you try it? Probably not. You will likely keep scrolling and wondering why you feel drained. The 10-minute tidy. There is always someone whose home never looks messy, not because they clean deeply, but because they spend 10 minutes every day doing small cleanup tasks, washing dishes, wiping counters, putting things back. While you let clutter pile up into a 3-hour cleaning disaster, they follow a simple daily routine. Their space never stresses them out because they never allow the mess to grow. How boring is this? Extremely boring. Does it prevent chaos? Completely. The boring truth. Nobody talks about this part of habit building. The most life-changing habits are supposed to be boring. If they were exciting, everyone would already be doing them. The simplicity is what separates people who are serious from people who are not. Exciting habits fade quickly. Boring habits grow quietly. They build results little by little until everything in your life improves. Not through dramatic changes, but through small actions repeated when nobody is watching. That is the real secret most successful people never mention. Their lives look impressive because their habits are simple and consistent. If this made you realize you have been chasing excitement instead of steady habits, then that awareness is a good thing. Now you understand what actually works. Tap the like button as if you are choosing one simple habit to commit to. Subscribe like you are choosing long-term results instead of short-term excitement. Transformation does not come from motivation. It comes from steady repetition, even on days you do not feel like doing it. Same principles, different mindset, much better results.